Bringing the physical and the blockchain together. That makes a lot of sense for many reasons, but hasn't really been solved yet. Did the NFT startup Asuki get us one step closer to that? We will find out in this episode.
The line between digital and physical is blurring, and at Chiru Labs, this intersection is our playground.
Hello and herzlich willkommen to the Bernhard Neumann podcast. Here you get insights, assessments, and knowledge around the topics of Web3, NFTs, and crypto. I'm your host Bernhard, and I help brands successfully get started with Web3, the metaverse, and NFTs, with training, workshops, applicable strategies, and convincing communication so that the whole thing has a method and brings results. By the way, for my regular listeners, this is a video podcast. This is my first video podcast. I'm trying out this format, and I would be very much interested in your feedback if it adds value to your experience. And so let's have a try here. Okay, first I want to give you a little background, and then we move into the specific topic of today, which is bringing physical and the blockchain together. So obviously, this is a very interesting idea, at least to me and to very many others who kind of understood the magic of the blockchain technology, where you can have an entry that's really immutable, that's auditable. Everyone can look on the blockchain and say, yeah, this entry here, I can see the timestamp, everything happened accordingly. And so that makes a lot of sense for tracking physical things. For example, to authenticate if a watch is real or if it's the fake one, or to put something on the of a supply chain, like where was this item really here, was it really there, what happened to it, and so on. Great ideas, great, would be really cool, right? But we didn't get it to work yet. And this is where Azuki comes in. Little disclosure up front, they didn't entirely solve the whole thing, but I think it's a very interesting direction they're going. They're innovating with it, and they're pushing, this concept further, which is, I think, really worth pushing. And so stick with me. I think it's worth your time to understand what's going on here and what you can do with it. So what did Asuki actually do? As I said, it's a popular NFT project, and they came out with this announcement. Okay, we've changed everything. They have not, but they're good at marketing. And they brought out, we have developed this chip. They call it Bean chip, which is basically an NFC chip. That's nothing new. It's a chip where you hold your phone, for example, really close to it, and then information is transmitted. That's nothing revolutionary, but they call their chip Bean chip, and it stands for Blockchain-Enabled Authentication Network Chip, which they describe as a physical cryptographic chip that self-generates an asymmetric key pair. I'm no techie in this way, so I don't know, but I assume this is just an NFC chip. But what's the interesting part? What they did is they tied this NFC chip, this Bean chip they call it, to an NFT. And they developed a really cool mechanic that solves a lot of the problems that we had before. So what was the problem with, physical and blockchain stuff together? A problem was, okay, if I have a digital representation on the blockchain, let's say an NFT, I have this really valuable watch, and the watchmaker gave me also an NFT as authentication. Really nice, but I can move this NFT freely. Like there's nothing from preventing me to sell it. Someone can steal it from me. It can all happen. So there was no link between the two. And this is where I think Asuki came in and innovated or pushed innovation here further, pushed the whole industry further, where they developed a standard, a smart contract standard that actually links the two in a nice way. And what they call it is scan to own. So as you can see in this little clip here, whoever has the physical item can scan the chip, like the chip is in the physical item. Whoever has it can scan it, and then the NFT automatically goes into the wallet of the person that just scanned it. That means this is a physical first approach, but if you own the physical thing, you can own the NFT, you can own the counterpart. And so as you can see here, there's a clear link now. Like, it's not like I could move the NFT and I still have the physical good. Like, we have a clear link. And that's, in my eyes, very interesting, because it gets us one step closer to authentication. So if I have, the watch and there's this chip in it and I can scan, I can also see which NFT is linked to it, right? And with the blockchain, there is no faking. It's very easy and it's very clear if it's the real thing or not. You can make it seem like it is, but it's very easy to verify, is this the real smart contract that the NFT should be from? And so you can actually, if you keep this link, if you cannot remove this chip from the watch, for example, you can actually authenticate the watch, because the NFT cannot be faked in the end. And so if this chip is linked to the real NFT, then you can be certain that it's authentic. But obviously, maybe you can remove the chip too easy and you can implant it in a fake, then we still have the problem. But it's about moving one step further. I think with the whole NFT community and what's going on here, I see the skeptical look on it. It's totally okay, but I think it's also important to understand that this is at the forefront of technology. All those NFT startups, NFT projects that sometimes fail spectacularly, they're trying. They're trying to push the boundaries of what's possible with NFTs, with this new technology. Some are just scams either way, but many of them try. And Asuki, I think, is one good example of a company that's trying. And it's trying to solve a pretty big problem here. Like, this is nothing to sneeze at, really. If that works, and if we can get even closer to actually having that true link and getting that right, there's so much you can do for physical goods, for how we, how we trade physical goods, how we track physical goods. And I'm really excited for that. And also for you to understand, obviously, as AR, for example, augmented reality becomes more and more popular. So we want to merge the physical and the digital. And this is a nice way. This is also very interesting. If you can verify, okay, I own something physical, but I also own a digital, like that's a good problem to be solved, because our world is very digital, and but you want to be sure, okay, does this person actually have the sneaker that they say? And now you can prove it digitally. Yes, they do have it, and I don't have to examine the sneaker. I have the digital twin, I have the NFT, and everything is solved. So from that standpoint, I think that's very interesting what Asuki is doing, and very notable, not just for NFTs, but for all fashion, for all luxury industry. This is kind of big, guys. This is kind of big. And also for the branding part, obviously my background is branding marketing. So you can imagine if you can tie physical things to digital assets, and you can track it also digitally, like with the blockchain. Obviously, now you can track, okay, who owned this before, who owns it now, and a story develops. There's so much gamification that's possible if you have that link, and if you just bring those two worlds closer together, I think that's a beautiful thing. Like, we all live in the physical world, and that's good. There's so many beautiful things about it. But there's also really cool things that can be done digitally that you might not be able to in the physical world. And so moving those two together is a beautiful thing in my eyes. And this attempt to solve problems with NFT technology is I think really cool and gets us into the right direction. I would be interested what you think about it. Is this significant? Where does your mind go? What can we do with this technology? Let's discuss in the comments.